and health, psychological disorders, therapies, and social psychology. So I'm going to focus on week 7 for today. But if you're interested, week number 8 is obviously open. You could, in theory, finish up everything from the class. But what I'll do is I'll talk about week number 7 today. And then next week, when we have our very last Twitch live stream on Wednesday, I will talk about week number 8, exam number 4, and the closing assignment. All of that is open if you'd like to go ahead and work ahead, but I'm going to focus on week 7 since that's where we are right now. But you are, of course, welcome to work a little bit ahead if you would like. Okay, so let's take a look. This week we have chapter 13 and chapter 14. So as usual, you're going to want to read those in the ebook, and then you'll want to go through my lecture and watch the lecture video. So remember, 3 things for every chapter: the ebook, the lecture, and the lecture video. You do also have 2 discussions this week, so let's take a look at those together. Discussion 13 is one of my favorites, right? So what I have done for this one, a little bit kind of a fun project. So for this one, your instructions are up here as always. Make sure you watch my little video. Be detailed in your responses, all the usual kind of stuff, worth 15 points as always. So for this one, we're talking about the topic of self-care. And self-care, just like it sounds, is finding ways to take care of yourself. It can be big, it can be small. It doesn't necessarily have to be elaborate. It could be as simple as like taking a nap or enjoying your favorite food, but it could also be something much bigger. So what I have here is a little article for you to read on self-care. And then what I'd like you to do is take and share or upload 5 pictures of you engaging in self-care activities. These need to be your own images, so they should be original work. You can use your phone or any camera. Try to have the images be thoughtful and creative. Have fun with them. You do not need to be in the image. I'd actually prefer if you weren't. It could be like part of you. Like, for example, a lot of people did like getting their nails done, and so their fingers or hands were in there, or their feet, but not like all of you. It can be anything that you do to promote self-care. It should be of you or some element of your activity, of you doing that. Be creative, have fun with it. You don't have to overthink it. This is just anything you do to give yourself a break in some way. There's lots of examples in the article if you're feeling stuck. For each picture that you submit, I'd like you to submit like just a couple of sentences of you describing what you're doing and how you felt before and after. As a fun side note, I am writing a book about self-care. And I might reach out to some of you to see if I could get your permission to include your images in there. So please feel free to do that. I really hope that that some of you put a lot of time in there and I'm able to maybe use some of those. That would be great. So spend some time on this. Again, be creative, have fun with it. Try to think of unique things, and I look forward to seeing what you come up with. And I might reach out to you to see if I could put it in my book. So I'm trying to gather about like 100 examples, and I have quite a few, but I'm still looking for some more. So have fun with this one. And then don't forget a peer response as always. Discussion number 14, or I'm sorry, yes, 14 here. It shot me back. This one is about psychological disorders. And I covered the main, the main view on disorders in the lecture and in the textbook. But I would like you to have a chance to have some like critical thinking and exposure to a very different perspective. So what I've done here is I've included a short excerpt from a book called The Myth of Mental Illness. And it is an old book, but it is very commonly referenced as a polar opposite perspective. So what I'd like you to do is read this little excerpt here. You can also listen to it if you would rather listen to me reading it to you, though that might take a little bit longer to do. And then you're going to summarize Saz's main ideas. What are some of the reasons he presents as support for his claims of calling mental illness a myth? Do you agree with him? What are some of your thoughts? And explain. And then, do diagnoses stigmatize people? In what ways do they maybe help them or hinder them? So make sure you answer those 3 questions by hitting reply. And then, of course, don't forget to reply to a classmate. And those are the things that you have going on this week, right? So make sure you read chapters 13 and 14, read the lectures, watch the lecture videos. Don't forget to do discussion 13 and discussion 14. I will upload this video a little bit later today, so you'll be able to watch the recording. If you're watching it now, you obviously found it. And then I do have a couple of reminders for you, but are there any questions at all for me at the moment. While I'm waiting for you, let me give you a couple of quick reminders. The first one, we just have this week and next week, but a lot of you, again, have fallen off of the subscription. If you could take a moment to try and renew that, I would really appreciate it, just so I don't have to look each one of you up. Thank you so much for those of you who have continued to do this throughout our class. I really do appreciate that. The other reminder for you, if you're looking ahead to next week, our next Twitch live stream will be on Wednesday, October 4th at 11:30 a.m. Hard to believe that next week is October, right? But we will have our last live stream next week at 11:30 on Wednesday. I will go over the closing assignment, the final exam, and kind of all of the remaining things. If you have any questions about any of that, make sure you bring them with you next week. All of that is open, so you are welcome to go do all of that now, but I will cover it next week along with giving you... I know, it's already almost October. It's crazy. Along with giving you that last extra credit question. And that's the last thing I have for you today is I will give you that extra credit question and then see if you have any questions at all for me. So let me copy and paste this here into the chat. And this is the week number 7. Let me put that in here. Week number 7 Twitch live stream extra credit question. And the question for you is, what does DSM stand for, and what edition are we currently in? So what does DSM stand for, and what edition are we currently in? And when you're ready to answer that, you will head to Canvas. And since we're in week 7, you'll click on optional Twitch extra credit number 7. And then up at the top, click on Start Assignment right here at the top. And then you can type your response in the box, scroll down and hit submit, get your confetti burst and moons. Okay, you never know what it's going to be. And this is due by next Friday, the 6th at 11:59 p.m. So you have some time. If you're watching this later, remember you can still do this as long as you are subscribed on Twitch. Or if you're joining me now, obviously put your name in the chat and you're welcome to do that. Oh, thank you. I'm glad that you've enjoyed the class. Hey, if you can't make it next week, you can always watch the recording. But thank you. I really appreciate you saying that. Thank you so much. This class goes so fast. It's wild how quick 8 weeks goes by. Again, I can't believe it's already like week 4 of the NFL and almost October. It's crazy. It's prime candy eating time. I'm ready to do some trick-or-treating and eat all of my kids' candy. As funny as that might sound. So anyway, that is everything that I have for you. Of course, I will post that recording and you can answer that extra credit question. But I will hang out for a few minutes if you do have any questions for me. Otherwise, have a wonderful week 7, and I will hope you join me next week. Next week might be a little bit longer. Going over that closing assignment and the exam will take a little bit more time. So maybe closer to like 30 minutes, but kind of short and sweet today. I hope all of you are hanging in there as we near the end of this class. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the opportunity to do some self-care this week and get credit for it, which is always nice. I'm going to minimize my video, but I will hang out for a little bit if you do have any questions for me. Otherwise, have a wonderful week, and I will hope to see you next week for our very last Twitch live stream. Again, one more to go, and I will see you on Wednesday. Thank you. Thank you as well. Have a wonderful week. Thank you all for joining me. I really appreciate it and love the company. And I will see you all Wednesday next week. Can't believe it'll be our last one, our very last live stream together of the semester. Have a wonderful week, everyone. Thank you as well. Have a great weekend, you as well. Thank you. And I am still here if any of you do have any questions. Otherwise, I will see you all next week.